Whenever you launch an SEO campaign, whether it's a national or non-geo-specific SEO campaign or a local SEO campaign, you're going to want to have your client or yourself fill out the SEO commencement form so that you can get the SEO project launched. Of course, your project manager will be in touch with you shortly after you pay for an SEO campaign. But if you want to get things kicked off, you can go ahead and come into pre-sale and drop down to client intake form for SEO. Now, inside of here, you would want to go to fill out the form if you want to fill out the form for your client, or maybe to avoid any confusion on your client side, probably a really good idea. You could call them and go through the form with them. Now, if you prefer to simply send the intake form to the client, you can do that by clicking the button Send to Client, and it's going to ask you what email do you want to send from, who do you want to send it to, and you can customize the message as well as the subject line on the email. And hit send, and it will send a link to fill out the intake form to the client. So you can either do that, send it to the client, and once you send it to the client, it's going to start tracking that form to figure out if it's been sent, is it pending, has it been completed or not, so that you can track your intake forms that have been sent to clients. So when the client clicks to fill out the intake form, they're going to see the same process that you would see as if you click to fill out the form yourself. So let's go through this real quick. First of all, you can manually add the client's business information, or you can just start typing the client's business name and select their name and address. And if they already have a business profile set up online, chances are we'll be able to pre-populate all of their information, even their business hours. And if it does, it will save you or the client time from filling this out. You can look over the information, edit it, change it, and hit next, or add a second location if you happen to be running a local SEO campaign for more than one location. Now, when you hit next, then it's going to take you to the information needed to start the campaign. First off, do you have access to the client's Google My Business page? Yes or no? If yes, provide access. Now, a lot of times clients don't want to give you their Gmail account to the Google My Business page, so it might be a good idea for them to create an additional email account for that Google My Business page so that they can share their access, because maybe their original access happened to be the same Gmail they use for their personal email. They can also create a manager level email to give access to. You can always Google how to do that, and that would go here. And then where would you like the confirmation or activation email sent to? Or you can set up a dedicated email and login so that it's not necessary to forward emails. You can always ask your project manager if you have questions about any of these details. And what is the name of the contact person? Targeted city, state, region, payment type accepted. This is typically for the Google My Business setup and other directory setups. Business description. Do you need to install Google Analytics on the website or not? What are your important target keywords? Do you want to upload a list of them? High-res pictures that can be used for social media. List of the 3 top competitors. Do you have an existing report of the target keywords? And are there other domains similar to your current website? And does your business have an existing Facebook fan page? And is there an existing Twitter account, so that project management knows if they need to create a new one or not? Now, if you don't have all of this information, it's okay. Or you could ask your project manager again if you're having issues understanding what any of this means. Once you get through launching one project, of course, you'll understand the workflow much more. When you hit next, it's going to come to asking for website access. Why? Well, for an SEO campaign of any sort, there's on-page optimization to be done, and the team needs access to be able to do that. So we ask for FTP access and CMS access. And, there's also these little question pop-out boxes letting you know what is being asked for. cPanel may be optional to provide. We don't always need cPanel access, but just in case, it doesn't hurt to provide it. And then, are you needing call tracking, form tracking, review tracking widget set up? Do you prefer any examples of writing that we can use as reference? Do you have any examples of writing we can use as reference? If so, please provide. And would you prefer your content to be written from the first or third person point of view? And that's it. Save and submit. That's the information that we need to launch a campaign. Now, you may want to walk your client through this. And if you yourself are having problems getting through and understanding the form, definitely walk your client through it and answer any questions that they may have. That way, you can fill it out with them, get all the information that you need, save and submit, and then the project's ready to move forward. So that is the client-facing intake form, which, again, you can fill out on your own, or you can also send this directly to the client to fill out. And it has tracking as well and a great online interface. So this should be a much improved process from delivering something like a Word document to the client to fill out, because it's all online. Now, if you sent it to the client to fill out, from this overview, yes, you can go to view it, but you can also edit it as well. So after the client completes the intake form, if you sent it to them, you can go in and also edit it. Maybe they did some things wrong and you want to change it. And then you can also click map it with a project, which means you can link the intake form to the project. The last thing I want to point out, you can come in here and send an intake form to the client anytime you want. The client doesn't have to have a paid for campaign yet. So maybe while you're consulting the client, waiting on payment, for whatever reason, if at any point in time you're wanting to fill out the intake form for the client, or have the client fill it out, even if the project isn't paid for or launched yet, you can do that ahead of time. And then after the campaign is launched, click here to map it with the project, link it to the project, and boom, project is ready to roll. So that is the SEO intake form, available from Presale drop-down SEO intake form.